Hey everyone, today we're going to walk through one of my most popular listings on Etsy, my rental property income statement. The one we're going to look at here is in Google Sheets, and we're going to look at the one that's the most expensive with the most features. There's about probably a dozen or so iterations between Excel, Google Sheets, and the different features that each one has that we'll talk about. And we're going to, like I said, walk through the Google Sheets version. However, the version that you're going to see is available in Excel, and with one exception, works exactly the same as the Google Sheets version. So we'll go ahead and go right into our template. The first tab that we have is a summary report. It shows all your income and expenses by month for all the various properties that you have. And then at the bottom, it has the same for the last 12 months. We then have one of the major templates major tabs that's in here. It's in every version. This is the income statement tab. Shows month end, year to date, the comparison for each year for the month end and also for the year to date, and then a monthly income statement as well. And then also, if you ever need to change what reporting period, what month end you're looking at, you just go into B9, and then anytime you need to change that fiscal year, you just change it in B10 to the correct date. The next tab that we go to is the register. Now this one obviously has a lot of information already in it. This tab and the one we just saw, they're in every version of this report, of this template that we do. This is essentially where you enter all your transactions, kind of like you would possibly in QuickBooks or any other accounting software. You have fields for the date, income versus expense, deposit being income, check being expense, check number, has it cleared your bank statement or your credit card yet? That's what that column D is for. Who's the customer or the vendor, what your revenue stream is, AirBnb, Vrbo, etc. What checking account? This is a column that's specifically for if you have a version that has the bank rec feature. The property, the category, we'll talk about why that keeps showing up at one point. That's the one reason why Google Sheets is different than Excel. How many nights and the amount. The next report is a really kind of a revenue stream tracker. So it shows sales by revenue stream and shows number of nights booked in a month. You can see here kind of really high because I put a bunch of information in. How many booked nights you have. Actually number of nights in a month because you have all these different properties. If you go here, you can actually change this for a single property. Shows you how many nights in the month, how many book nights you had, things like that. Shows your expenses, shows your average daily revenue. Lots of different information there. The next is a customer payer tracker. So as you enter transactions into the register, tracks who you've paid. And what's actually kind of nice is that once you start entering transactions, those customers and vendors actually show up in the drop down in the register as well. And then the last one is a bank rec, which helps you to reconcile your bank account at the end of each month as you go. So those are the tabs. Like I said, the main differences between the different iterations is what tabs you have. The basic one has the property income statement and the register. And then each subsequent report has just different iterations. So some will have the summary dashboard template. Some will have, the revenue template, the customer payer tracker, the business bank rec, and they'll have any combination. So in other words, if all you want is the business bank rec, the customer payer tracker, but you don't want this revenue stream tracker or, the dashboard, then you don't need that version. So literally there's all sorts of mix and match versions, and each one sort of is a different price depending on which features you need or don't need. That way you're really only paying for what you want. And again, all of these different versions come both in Excel and Google Sheets. So what we're going to do now is we're going to first walk through a transaction and how to enter one into the register. And kind of show all the places it shows up. And then we're also going to talk about how to customize your properties and your accounts, how you add different accounts, how you add properties if you need more. And then we'll wrap up. So to enter a transaction, you just go to the register. And again, right now we're showing it year end 3/31/2022. And if we go to the register, And we'll enter these for March. So we'll do 3/31, 2022. We're going to enter an income. That's a deposit. We'll call it, 1,000. It's not cleared because it's we've not done anything, so we'll just leave that blank. Say this is customer 1. We'll give this to Airbnb revenue stream. It's for checking account 1. We'll say it's for property 1. And we'll just say it's the rent income. We'll say it's for 3 nights for $300. And now if we go over here to our property income statement, you can see it shows up there. You can also see it shows up in your dashboard as well. So if we go back here, you can see, like I said, it goes across the board there. It also goes into your revenue stream breakdown right there. Goes into your customer and your payer tracker as the first one. And what's kind of neat actually is now that this is in here, they come up as an option. So you don't have to type them in every time. You can just hit them as a drop down. And then, so they're in there. And you can actually see now you have a deposit because we showed it not cleared. And just to show how this works, this is showing outstanding right now. Once you say that it has cleared, you go to the register. If you go into this right there and click yes. Now if we go back over to the business bank rec, you can see it actually goes away, which is a nice feature. We're going to go ahead and one more transaction. We'll enter a check for the same period, so 3/31, 2022. Check. We will call this, it's not cleared yet. We'll put a new name in here. Vendor 1. Don't need to put a revenue stream in this case. We'll say it's checking account 1 again. We'll say this is for property 2. And we'll say this is for property taxes, and it's for $250. Now, notice that when I entered this transaction here, this check, now we get this weird kind of validation error in the category. Now, what this means is now the listing, the dropdown for this report shows expenses. Now, what this is, and again, this is only a Google Sheets version. Excel, you won't see this problem. But in Google Sheets, the reason why this shows up is because of the way the dropdowns are determined. The dropdown is determined by looking at the last transaction in column B. Is it a deposit or a check? And then what the equation is saying, if it's a deposit, show the income items. If it's a check, show the expense transactions. And the that's a catch is it's showing that in the dropdown for all the transactions, regardless of what their specific transaction said. It's just an issue with Google Sheets. I've never found a way around it, but that is what the issue is. And so one of the questions I always get is, if I need to go back and change an account, how do I change it if my last entry is the opposite? It's a check and I need to change a deposit one. What you can do is go to your very last transaction, just go to the next one down, enter deposit, and now actually you have those. Or if your last one is a check and you were doing deposits for that, just hit check, and now the check transactions show up. One other thing with this that is important, that with the way that it's counting these rows, is you can't leave blank. So in other words, you can't go down here, start on this one, and leave the one above it blank. That just won't work well. And so that's just one of those weird things. Again, only a Google Sheets issue, not an Excel issue, but I wanted to just note that for you. But if you go back here, let's look at 3/31, you can see everything is showing up. Move that tab, and then you can see you have the expense there, and they also show up on the revenue on the customer payer tracker, and that one's showing up as a bank rec. Remember that the last one left or went away because there was no more outstanding checks. If you need to change a month end, just go over to here, and let's say if we put this at 4/30/2022, notice all those transactions go away because we don't have any April transactions, but do notice that they still show up on the year to date. And if we go across here, you can see they also show up there as well. And so that's all the kind of little features that you have. Now, one of the things I want to do real quickly is show you some of the different ways you can customize this. So first off, what I'm going to show you is how to change a property name. So, we have not put anything in property 3 yet. So let's say we're going to call that ABC property. You go right there. Oh, there we go. Now if we go over to like the drop downs, notice now you have ABC property available. And over here, if I look at the property, ABC property is there now to review. I think that's all the places it generally shows up. And so that's how you change a property name. If you need to add a property, just real quick, you hit, say, insert one column to the left here. And what you want to do is just, let's say we're going to do XYZ property. What you want to do then is you want to bring over the formulas that you have over here. And so what you want to do is kind of highlight all this. You're going to get this little blue tab right there, the little blue box. Just highlight those and kind of left click and drag that over. Now also what I need to do is I need to do that same thing right here. So I'm going to enter one column to the left. I'm going to expand this. And then so see now XYZ property shows up there. I'm just going to go here. I'm going to highlight this whole area. I'm just going to kind of drag that over. So you can add as many properties as you need. That's how you add a property and put that in there. And now if we go over here to the register, just to show you, now you can see also XYZ shows up in your drop downs. And so that's one of those areas I wanted to show you how to add, because a lot of people might have more. Really deleting's a lot easier. You just right click, you hit delete, and it would go away. So like, if we didn't need this one, we can just delete it. Notice it actually completely goes away there. We'll delete that column, and now that's that property is gone. Changing accounts is the same way, just over here. So you change this. We're gonna say this is, call it test one, and we'll do it also for an expense. We'll go down here and call other one test one. And notice that as you go across here, I clicked the wrong button. Excuse me. Get back here. You can see if I scroll over, you can see that it's actually changed across the board. Now, adding income and expense accounts is just as easy as properties. Actually, I think it's almost easier. You can anywhere kind of in between the accounts that you currently have, just go over to this row, right click, say insert one row above. Now you have availability for another one. So we'll just do this as test 2. Now the one thing you do have to do is notice that none of the equations are going here. So what you need to do across all your income statements is kind of highlight these with, kind of go across, select all of these, holding down your left click, get to this button, and then sort of left click and drag it down. And you'll just need to do that across all of your income statements to get those results to show up there. So if we keep just going across and go to the last one, left click down, there we go. And then we would do the same if we add in an expense. It's the same way. I'm not going to go through that process, but it's the same way. You insert one and you do that left click and drag across. And just to show you here again with that deposit, let's go over here, look at the deposits. Now you can see you have test 2, test 1. You have all those accounts as well. That I believe is all the kind of major changes. Like I said, deleting's the same way, just to show you. If you right click, you hit delete, it goes away there. It goes away on all of the options there. You can see it's gone. But that is it. That is all the various features we have on the rental income statement templates. Again, a lot of people don't want the full feature. They don't need all of those different items. They just need to, track maybe the income statement. I know just the property income statement and the register on their own are probably the single most popular item in the shop. Sold more of those than probably almost everything else combined. But like I said, if you need some of the different features, I know a lot of people really like the bank reconciliation feature, especially for rental properties. That one is one that's very popular that I would suggest maybe you taking a look at. But that is it. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me here in the comment section. You can email me. You can also go to my Etsy page and send me a direct message. If you've bought this and you're walking through this tutorial, thank you for your purchase. If you've viewed this to just kind of learn some stuff about Excel, you came across it on YouTube, and you're thinking about buying this or one of our other templates, thank you for your time and for looking at our shop. We have these type of templates as well as several others on our Etsy page that I'll leave the link to down in the comment section. Please take a little bit of time, go look at those if you will. There might be something that you'll find helpful. We have templates for just all sorts of different functions and features, so take a look at those. Hope you like this. Hope this was helpful to you. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to the page. Not only do we show templates that we show on the Etsy page, I'm also starting to do various tutorials on how to use different functions. For example, one of the newest videos actually talks about how we build this function. Oh, let me go back to the screen. One of our tutorials is even showing how I did this type of function using what you can see here is the filter function. And so not only do we do walkthroughs of the products that we have, but we're also doing lots of different tutorials just on how to use different functions. In fact, one of the ones that we'll probably get ready to do soon, if it's after this video, we'll be doing how to make one of these different income statements and all the different functions and parts of Excel that we use for that. Thank you again for your time. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.